Anxiety and depression are often mentioned together when people talk about them, but are they really the same? Watch this video to find out the differences between anxiety and depression in your diagnosis. Hey, I'm Dr. Sam McDonald. I'm a brain health expert, and this channel is dedicated to helping you rewire your brain so that you can live a better life. If you love this content, make sure to like and subscribe so you get the notifications for each week's new video. So anxiety and depression are often mentioned together, but neurologically speaking, they are very different. Anxiety can have many different causes. Sympathetic dominance, meaning that the survival part of the brain has now become too strong and it's now overwhelming the relaxation and healing part of the brain. Retained primitive reflexes, specifically the Moro reflex, which in the background is going to be like that smoke alarm that's constantly going off, that's going to be triggering that fight or flight response to be happening all the time. Poor vestibular function, meaning your balance centers are now really poor. Maybe one side is firing too strong compared to the other. This is going to trigger that fight or flight system to turn on, which is going to give you those feelings of anxiety. However, the most common one that we see is going to be the imbalance in the brain, meaning that left side of the brain is running too strong compared to the right. So when we say brain imbalance, really we're talking about brain waves. So brain waves are broken down into 4 different categories. You have your beta brainwave. This is your stress brainwave. This is the active, awake, and alert part of the brain. This is what is most dominant in the daytimes and in learning situations, but too much what's called high beta leads to these feelings of anxiety. Alpha is going to be your awake, alert, and focused part of your brainwave, but it's also more relaxed. So you're awake, you're focused, but you're relaxed. Theta is light sleep and deep relaxation, and then delta is your deep relaxation brainwave. So think of these like on an old school radio dial, you're dialing up one of these compared to the other as you're moving across this frequency band. However, when we see anxiety, specifically what we see is an increase in that fast brainwave on the left side of the brain, in the left prefrontal cortex or the left frontal lobe. All these are the same, but we see an increase in that fast brainwave. And what's going to happen is the left brain tends to be more of the gas pedal side of the brain, more of the go side, if you will. And as you increase that beta brainwave, that's going to start to give that more frantic type of feeling where the brain's now constantly seeking and looking for things, and it's constantly looking to be satiated when it can't because this brain is running way too high. It's kind of like a race car with no brakes. So this is the problem that's going to lead to that more of an anxious feeling. And in order to correct that, you need to start to dial down that beta brainwave and increase some of those slower brainwave frequencies. Now, when it comes to depression, the common misconception is that it's due to a chemical imbalance, right? You go to a Western medicine practitioner, they're likely going to tell you, oh yes, depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in your brain. Take these medications and this is going to correct that imbalance. However, the research has really not borne that out and actually shown that there's really nothing substantiating this claim that there's a chemical imbalance causing depression. So when we're looking at really what is the cause of it, again, there could be several different things, but the most common cause that we see when it comes to people coming in a depressed mood state is going to be an increase in slow wave frequencies on the right side of the brain, specifically, again, up in that right prefrontal cortex, that right frontal lobe. So again, those slow wave frequencies are going to be more of those theta, delta type of ranges. And again, the right side of the brain is more of the brake side. It's going to be the slow and calm down side. So you're going to be more sensory avoiding in these particular cases. And you're going to be more looking to get away from stimuli. You're not going to be interested in things anymore because you're not seeking these types of stimuli out. Again, the things that are going to make us happy, that are going to drive those reward systems more on the left side of the brain. So when the right side becomes way too dominant with these slow wave frequencies, that's when a person's going to become more withdrawn, they're going to be more isolating, they're going to be less happy because that's all driven from that right side. So if you're a person who is prone to these depressed type of mood states, likely that can be a cause of it is when that right brain becomes way too dominant. Also, a lot of our social hierarchies, our social connections come from that right side of the brain too. So a person who is more avoidant of being in social types of situations, being around friends or family, can likely have some of these elevated, slower brainwave frequencies. So when it comes to understanding both of these, the anxiety and the depression, and looking at right brain versus left brain, and like, hey, I'm more of a right brain person or I'm more of a left brain person, it's really important to understand that you want to be more whole brained. You want to have both sides balanced because each side of the brain is going to do different things. Each side is going to have different functions, and we need the whole brain working together in harmony, just like an orchestra that's going to play. We want all the instruments to be heard in their proper time and rhythm. We don't want one section to be really dominating over another. So when it comes to brain health, think of you want to be whole-brained, not I'm a more right-brained or left-brain dominant person. So on that note, you should be healthy by choice, not by chance. And for that reason, I will see you on the next video.